So hi, welcome to this episode of History Hunters. We are here at the Santa Susana Mountains. We're here at the Garden of the Gods. We're here to show you where a number of Hollywood films, and I'm talking TV shows as well, were shot through the 1960s. Just about any TV show that you can think of that had a Western theme was shot here.
Missed the big old lizard.
Lizards. I hear there's snakes around here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't come for me. I'm not wearing pants.
Dan Blocker and Pernell Roberts rode right down this trail in 1962 for a scene in Bonanza.
Is this it?
Yeah.
There's a plaque right here, and it explains that this is the Garden of the Gods, and it looks like by those holes there's something crawling around here. Garden of the Gods was part of the Iverson Movie Ranch, which flourished from 1912 until the late 1960s. The golden era of the B Western movies were shot here. The site was also known as the most shot-up location in movie history. Movie cowboys Rex Allen, Gene Autry, Bill Boyd, otherwise known as Hopalong Cassidy, Johnny Mac Brown, Sunset Carson, Gary Cooper, Ray Crash Corrigan, Eddie Dean, William S. Hart, just about everybody you can think of. Even Roy Rogers has been here. This landscape should look very familiar to you. You're masked up today, huh? Semi-masked up.
I'll put it up over my face if people come by. But until then, it's my beard.
Beautiful look out here. I think I'm more concerned about snakes on this one. These rocks look very much like the ones in Alabama Hills. Almost the same kind of rock. This little rock right here looks like it may not be significant. However, there goes the lizard. This is a rock that Rin 1010 stood upon in one of the opening scenes of that show. This rock was set aside here, but it was originally up here over in this location on top of that rock. We are now entering the Garden of the Gods. It's between the Sphinx and the Tower. A number of films were shot here. You can imagine a long time ago, this was the road that was used in the stagecoach. The road went right through here and right through where these condos are. I understand they had to remove some rocks over here to make way for these condos. John Wayne would have come right through here. This over here is called the Tower. This over here is called the Sphinx. Movies and TV shows that were too many to count were shot right here. But we know that Lauren Green and Pernell Roberts were here filming the Paiute Wars episode of Bonanza, 1959.
It is an evil thing to see Ben Cartwright ride to war.
I ride for peace, O Chief of the Paiutes.
Then my eyes fail me, for I see men ready for battle.
The Paiute wants peace. We want peace. Will we talk?
We will talk.
I need to point out something right over here. A lot of people miss this, but it says garden. It's been engraved with garden. Some people have theorized that perhaps Garden of the Gods was on another rock, but that rock has disappeared. Would you like to see the bathtub rock?
Yes.
Are you curious what the bathtub rock is?
It's got to be a bathtub.
The bathtub rock is actually the rock that Buster Keaton sat in for the 3 ages. It was a silent picture where he was a caveman. He gets dragged by a prehistoric mammoth, which was an elephant. He was dragged right through this area behind us. He finds a rock at the top that's got water in it, and he used it for a bathtub. I think that was back in the 1920s.
Jose made it up there. I think I want to go up there.
Jose made
Wonder
it
how
up
you get
there.
up there. Oh,
Yeah, I don't think so.
you have to climb with gear because you see all the chalk hand marks.
There's a squirrel up in that tree.
Oh, I see him. Hi, squirrel. I don't have critter food.
I think that's the bathtub rock right there. I need to go up here and look. That's not the bathtub rock. Oh yeah, it is. Bathtub rock's up here. There we go. Right next to this condo. It's filled up with sediment a little bit, but this is the bathtub that Buster Keaton used in the 3 ages. You can get down the way that Buster Keaton got down. He went down that way right there. There it is, the bathtub.
Yay.
Oh, just about 100 years ago. Silent film star Buster Keaton filmed a shot right here. And at that time, this tree wasn't here, so I believe the camera was over in that direction. Are you gonna get in the bathtub? So typically when it rains, this fills up with water and it looks, I've seen pictures of it, it looks pretty gung-good. But what's kind of ironic is that the highway up there is named after Ronald Reagan, the Ronald Reagan Freeway. In fact, if you go up the road, you'll see the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley. But to think that this B-Western actor from the 40s, Ronald Reagan, was here filming Tennessee Partner with John Payne at this very location. Now, Buster Keaton slid off in that direction. Garden patio right here. Believe it or not, there was a boulder right where this condo is. They must have removed it to build the condo, but there was a rock there called Ponderosa Rock. Now, Lauren Green shot a scene for Bonanza here in the 1960s.
Dismount. I'm taking you into custody.
On what grounds, Captain?
For aiding and abetting the escape of an Army prisoner. Search him.
Yes, sir. You're stepping over that line, Bolton.
I'll be the judge of that.
And there's also a picture of Ren 1010 running right through here past this rock. Fortunately, this rock has remained in place.
$18.95. Cedry. Bert? Has that really been carved there that long?
No, it hasn't.
Oh, it was part of a movie?
Yes. It was actually part of TV history. Lloyd Bridges had a TV Western called The Loner, and he shot the episode Hunt the Man Down, which premiered on December 11, 1965. In this episode, Burgess Meredith starred as Cedry, an eccentric mountain man on the run from the law. Tom Tully was Bert Shaftow, so that was the Bert of the Cedry and Bert. When Cedri and Bert were kids, back in June of 1825, they carved their names along with a date into the rock that marked a favorite spot that only the two pals would know about. Now, decades later, Bert is part of a posse trying to track down Cedri, played by Burgess Meredith, and old friends meet up at this same spot. But if you can imagine, this was right here where this scene was shot.
Don't make it hard for me, Cedri.
Nobody never comes up here. Nobody never comes up here but you and me.
Don't make me do it.
Ever since we was kids. We carved our names up here together. We come up here was no bigger than this. We put our names.
All right, no more talk. Stay out of this.
Drop that shotgun. You think that badge gives you a license to kill?
You don't understand. I'm his friend. That's why I had to get to him first.
The inscription in this area is one of the few markings that Hollywood crews left behind. They probably shouldn't have done so. So I have to point out this rock right here, and I'll explain what this is. This rock right here was used in a Judy Garland film. And it's also the rock that Ronald Reagan tied his horse to in the movie Tennessee Partners. Now, I understand this rock has been displaced a little bit. I believe it's up there on that rock right there. So let's give you a perspective. Ronald Reagan would have tied up his horse right there. And we compare the two scenes that that rock's been probably pushed down for safety reasons.
Whoever was riding this horse hasn't been here too long. And that's the trail to Grubstake's claim.
Now, this is actually an old camera track. I guess they used it. Underneath here was a roller, and they would roll their, you can see it right here. They would roll their camera underneath here, and they could pan. The camera had an arm that connected over here to this thing. So as you can tell, it used to swivel around so you could get this panoramic view pointing this direction. Okay, Sarah is standing pretty much where Henry Fonda was standing at this scene from Grapes of Wrath, shot in 1940. This is supposed to be where the Okies come in from Oklahoma. They see California as the promised land. This scene was shot right here. Now, the curious thing is that when the car drives up in this scene, it was way over there where those condos are. There's a road over there. And they shot the scene, another scene from up there.
On that ledge up there, Buster Keaton stood in 3 ages to golf off some rocks, stare towards his enemies.
There is the Sphinx. Sarah, I don't think you want to climb that now, do you?
What?
The Sphinx.
What Sphinx?
That's called the Sphinx.
I'd climb it if there was a way up.
Yeah, I don't think you're cut for it. There's no way up there.
Cut for it. Yeah, I know. I'm fat and I can't lift myself up.
No, it's not that. There's nothing to walk on.
No, that was your nice way of saying
No,
that.
there's nothing to walk on.
You're not cut for that, is what
Well,
you said.
we're not cut for it. Where are you going?
Up here.
Why?
Why not?
Why not? Well,
You bring me to rocks and expect me not to climb them? I got my Rock climbing shoes on.
Rock climbing shoes on?
Yeah. La Sportiva. Approach shoes.
Oh.
Ultra super sticky.
For this very
And it's
porous
porous,
rock. Yeah,
so
it's
good.
porous.
That's a handhold.
That looks like something that's been carved. So I'm going to take you over to what's called the Tom Mix Rock as she climbs down. And it also has some boot holds that they carved in the rock so that he wouldn't slide off this rock. So that tree back there was also in a Hollywood picture.
So that oak tree right there was very young in 1926. Actor and stuntman Yakima Canute filmed a scene here for The Devil Horse. And then Jay Silverheels, who was Tonto in The Lone Ranger, he was tied to this tree for a 1956 episode that was called The Courage of Tonto.
Shadow grow short. Where your white friend now? Him come. You see. Him come. Tao! Kimasabi.
Here he is, Red Cloud. The man who killed your father. We'll turn him over to the major of the fort.
Well, they don't have their masks on.
Neither do you.
Have you ever heard of the Spawn Movie Ranch?
No. Sounds like I've heard the name, but
You may have heard it associated with Charlie Manson and the Manson family.
Yeah, that's probably what
They hung out here, and it's right over here, Spawn Movie Ranch, where Charlie Manson hung out. They actually found somebody that was murdered by the Manson family years, like 5 or 6 years after his death. It's found up there. This looks like it was deliberately placed in here, rocks, for a walkway, probably for the movie crews. So Laurel and Hardy actually did a scene right here for Flying Deuces, where they were doing some wash. That rock was turned, it was covered in old clothes, discarded clothes. They made a big mound of laundry that they were behind in tending to, and they got in trouble for it. This is actually called the Tom Mix Rock. Now, why do you think that is? Well, I'll tell you why. Tom Mix filmed the movie here in 1935. He was killed in 1940. I think I know where these are. Oh man, how do you get up here?
You have to be a rock climber.
Tom Mix probably did this, and then he did this. So for the 1935 movie,
Miracle Rider,
Tom Mix, I believe they cut the holes in the rock right about here. Oh, here we go. There's one here, and there's one here. This is what he did in the scene. "5 years before he died. He died in Arizona. You know the story about that. He went off the road in a wash, had to jam on his brakes. The suitcase full of money on the back shelf of his car hit him in the back of the head and killed him. But this is known as the Tom Mix Rock. And Tom Mix probably jumped off here and broke his leg. Oh, probably weighed a lot less than I do." Okay, now we're going to talk about the Glen Strange Rock. If I can get up here. There's also a foothold over here on this side. But Glen Strange is a bad guy. He's actually firing his weapon this way. I believe it was in the Lone Ranger. Glenn Strange, of course, is the same guy who played Sam the bartender in Gunsmoke. There's a foothold. My foot's actually in a piece of the rock over here that they cut, obviously, so he could lay right here. Another Hollywood legend shooting a movie or TV show right here.
That rock up there to the right is called the Phantom because of the spooky way that it looks.
Now up there is the Ronald Reagan Freeway, and beyond that is the Upper Iverson, where they filmed a lot of TV shows, including Bonanza. Michael Landon, Dan Blocker, and Lauren Green spent a lot of time up there filming as well. So Sarah has got her butt on some rocks back there, and those are the same rocks that are in the background of this scene with Elvis Presley and Harem Scarum. Now, just judging by where those rocks are, Elvis Presley and his babe would have been right about here.
Babe?
I don't know her name. Babe of the film. Yeah, the king, Elvis Presley, right here. Filmed the scene in 1965. At that time, he was living in Beverly Hills. Don't go away. Ronald Reagan, see that split in the boulder? That is the clue. Ronald Reagan was shooting at Anthony Caruso from right behind this rock here. Now, Anthony Caruso was over here. Wait. This is the actual spot.
Shoot! I'm coming out.
Throw your gun out first.
Come out, slow, with your hands high.
Ronald Reagan was killed in that scene. He was killed right out here.
Might as well do it. Doesn't make any difference now. Too bad. I'd like to have killed you, Turner.
So the scene would have been like right here. You're not gonna believe it, but as I'm looking for a movie,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
she said, where there's a will, there's a way. While I'm looking for movie scenes, Sarah creeps up the back. She's on top. Looks like an ant up there. Don't fall!
I'm not gonna fall.
There's something I noticed a little while ago. It looks like they chipped out a piece of this rock here, and I'm assuming it's so that they could maybe put the leg of a tripod or something right here. But right over there past my camera bag, and these rocks over here, this is the location where Ronald Reagan and John Payne filmed one scene where they're shooting at Anthony Caruso behind me.
Put up your hands, Turner.
But in this film, you see that there's a tree that was there that's fallen. Ronald Reagan runs past this rock over here. He gets behind this rock. He puts his foot here and he starts shooting at Anthony Caruso, who was right over there.
How'd you like my perch?
It was nice. Was it hard to get up there?
Just the last little piece. The rest had easy. Although I got snagged by a tree branch.
Now in Stagecoach, John Wayne and all of his crew go through this road on their way to a relay station that they would find will be on fire. It's over off in that direction, just to the right of the condos. The condos weren't here at the time, but the burning relay station was over there, approximately where the condo is. You ready to find the Lone Ranger rock?
No.
Why?
I'm sweating right now.
Okay. I understand that the reason that they call this the Garden of the Gods is because there's a Garden of the Gods outside of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and instead of movie companies having to go all the way to Colorado to shoot that spectacular scenery, they realized that they had something in their backyard, so they named this Garden of the Gods. Now, there was one particular movie where they actually built a fort right between these rocks, and they had tore it down later. There's also a scene with Randolph Scott that was shot right out here as well. I'm going to take you around these condos and show you some other things that have some link to Hollywood history.
Yeah, somebody came through here, Pa. Not too long ago.
So I think this is a place that Sarah enjoyed. There's squirrels running around. There's lots of lizards and stuff. She loves animals. I think she enjoyed scampering up that rock as well. Kind of weird to see these modern condos right in the middle of Western TV Hollywood sets, basically. Now, right here by these condos is a distinguished looking rock called Saddlehorn Rock. There was a scene shot here with Clayton Moore, Lone Ranger actor. I think it was for The Adventures of Jesse James, though. It was a TV series in the 50s. George Reeves, Superman, also shot a scene right here. You probably wouldn't have known about this distinguished rock and its Hollywood history unless you tuned into History Hunters. Right about here, where this condo is, would have been where the relay station was burning in that John Wayne film, Stagecoach. Smoke and everything. So the relay station is at the end of the road that I showed you about that goes right between those two rocks. The Sphinx and the tower.
Charlie, look! Look at the ferry! It's weird too! Hatfield, stand guard over there. Where's the army? What's the soldiers doing? Charlie, what can I do? I'm going to let you run them and pillage the whole country. I need you.
Will you give me your word you won't try to escape again?
I'll give you my word. To Lordsburg.
Get in the coach with them women.
I give you my word.
Ringo, don't! Hey, Salas.
It was also right here that they filmed a Batman serial episode here way before Adam West and Burt Ward were in the Batman TV series from the 1960s. There was a 1949 Batman serial that was also shot right out here. I forget the name of the actor in that one, but you will definitely recognize that rock has been encroached by modern development. I think that's kind of sad. Right where that water gully is, back there would have been the road, what we call the Stagecoach Road. Now, private property. I think it's so cool that you see all this Hollywood history right here in these mounds of rocks. And it looks like there's actually a cactus over here. Check it out. A couple of cactuses planted here. That gives it a certain Western ambiance as well. There's a lot of shows that we didn't even talk about, but there's just too much to cover. Literally thousands of movie and TV productions were shot here, starting from the 1910s. So it's impossible to cover them all, but check this out. There's even massive boulders to make for some very interesting landscape and this very beautiful part of Southern California. Okay, you youngsters who are at least 70, maybe 80 years old, maybe even your 90s. When you were kids when this series was out, the Lone Ranger series, 1949 to 1958, I believe, that rock back there is the rock that Lone Ranger and his horse reared up at the beginning of the TV series. It was on TV sets all across the country. I think it's so cool to be so close to such TV history. I mean, you can't get more American than Lone Ranger, his horse Silver, and Tonto, can you? To pull this off, Clayton Moore and his horse Silver would have galloped right up here, right over these rocks, right up here, and rear up right underneath this beautiful rock. And see how close he was to the cliff? The horse was facing this way when it happened. I've often said if these rocks could talk, this rock witnessed true TV history.
Just on the other side of the Lone Ranger rock is where they filmed the 1941 movie, They Died with Their Boots On. The famous rock was also used in the 1925 silent picture, Ben-Hur, A Tale of Christ.
And as you can tell right over here, there's condos that weren't here back in the 1950s when that was shot for the TV show. Those are the Nicoya Cliffs, and it was in the background of this film, Last Stand of George Custer, filmed with Indians.
I also recognize this bridge as being in the background as Ronald Reagan comes riding up the hill in the opening scene of Tennessee's Partner. That rock up there is named Hawk Rock,
which means that they filmed an episode of Bonanza right here in this area.
That rock appeared in the 1962 episode of The Ride.
Horse looks to me like he was rode to death. See how he sweated?
Could have been. It's beginning to look better all the time.
You're sure you ain't overlooking nothing?
Not on your life. Brand on that horse won't be hard to trace either.